Guy English from the Mooirivier area in KwaZulu-Natal is the 2024 Kwanalu Young Farmer of the Year. He joins us now to talk about this passion of his. Guy, congratulations. Tell us about the farm, just a few thoughts. Where exactly is it and what do you produce?
Okay, well, as you've just said there now, I run a farm in Mooirivier. It's in the KZN Midlands. Actually just past the school, Trevorton. We're on a Middle Risk Road 36, about 5 or 6 kilometers along there. So 15 minutes out of town, which is very, very convenient. It's a family farm that my parents bought back in 2010. They handed it over to me in 2011 once I graduated from University of KwaZulu-Natal. The farm's 1,800 hectares, of which 235 hectares is arable lands and the rest is veld. Obviously, it's a beef operation and maize, and then I've got a registered stud herd, beef master stud herd, of which I sell breeding bulls on my annual auction every July.
Your commitment to biosecurity procedures or practices really impressed the judges. So what is your approach?
First and foremost, prevention of any disease is key in the livestock operation. We as farmers cannot afford for any disease to get into our herds, such as your foot and mouth, which is obviously the forefront of being a problem in South Africa at the moment. Can't have contagious abortion, trach being another one, and that can sink a farming operation very, very quickly. So as a first line of prevention, between my neighbor and I, we actually have a biosecurity gate that as you drive in, you drive through like a dip bath, and it sprays your vehicle at the same time with disinfectant just to prevent any bacteria or any viruses being introduced through vehicles that have gone to other farms that might have those diseases. And then obviously a good vaccination program is an essential step in a herd itself. I'm meticulous about vaccination. I have a schedule, and I've actually got a very good friend who works for MSD Products, and I get him out onto the farm whenever needed to do all my vaccinations. Where else I'm very lucky as well as I'm isolated from any sort of settlements, etc. like that, which really does reduce the risk of my cattle coming in contact with any other cattle nearby that might not have been vaccinated. So two different approaches. Obviously, entering the farm is probably my biggest, or how do I say it? That stops most of the problems entering the farm, and then obviously a good vaccination program.
Now, you expanded your beef master herd by 33% within the past 5 years and converted your herd from a commercial to a registered stud. 33% is quite impressive. Talk to us about this. How did you manage it?
Okay, I'll give you a little bit of a history of obviously of the herd and whatever. So we go back, beef master goes way back to 1985, where my dad was one of the first cattle breeders to import beef master semen into South Africa from America, which actually had to be, I don't want to really say, it had to be smuggled through Zimbabwe into South Africa. And then, that semen came from Leicester, who was obviously the pioneer of the beef master breed. Fast forward to 2011, our herd was obviously based heavily on the beef master type of cattle. So it was a smart choice to carry on with the breed as it suits the terrain and environment of my farm. And I went to my first ever beef master sale in Bos Blanco, who are based in Kroonstad, and I purchased my first 2 bulls there. This was sort of the start of my stud journey. Having a beef master type base means it was easy to convert from commercial animals into a registered stud herd as it is now. And from there, I carried on buying bulls, and I bought a lot of females from WO as well. And that just sort of helps speed up the process of upgrading your herd or your animals from like an A to a B to a C to an SP. I just thought converting the stud was an innovative choice. It substantially increased the value of our animals as well. I mean, everyone knows a stud animal is worth a bit more than a commercial animal. So it was I thought it was a great choice. And then you asked how I increased my herd by 33% in the last 5 years. So I was initially leasing my maize lands out, and I made the decision to start planting it myself. And this was a good financial decision, as it meant the farm was generating more income. So I approached my next door neighbor as well to lease 200 hectares of pastures, which gave me extra land to run more cattle, as those pastures obviously have a high carrying capacity. So the combination of more land and this extra maize income allowed me to keep double the amount of my replacement heifers as I could before, due to reaching my farm's carrying capacity. With the snowball effect, I had the opportunity to lease even more land around my area, resulting in me increasing my herd by sort of 33%.
Let's talk about the other leg of your business, and that is maize production. A buzzword these days is sustainable agriculture. What do you implement?
Okay, this is quite a broad question, but I'll answer it as best I can. I never thought I'd love to come to growing maize, as I'd actually never done it before. So it was all new to me. I started off with no experience, and then just slowly but surely just learned. And I just thought a maize enterprise integrates well with a beef enterprise as well. So it sort of went hand in hand, if that makes sense. And obviously, producing maize, it's easy, but to grow it at a high standard and get impressive yields, that is the challenging part. And that fueled my passion for high maize production. So this led to me to the sustainable agriculture, and it's fundamental to growing good quality maize. So in my opinion, to grow maize, you have to start with your soils. So I teamed up with a soil advisor by the name of Bruce Dixon from our area, and we started off by taking soil samples. And on receiving the soil samples, we identified the different problems, and we took it from there. And so for the first couple of years, we lined my lands correctly, bringing down the acidity to manageable levels. Then it came time to improving, obviously, my NP and Ks. And there's nothing better than to use as chicken litter. Obviously, being an organic fertilizer packed with nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and all your micro and macronutrients. And on top of that, it also still has an alarming effect. So it's a byproduct of another farming enterprise, which is actually next door to me. So it was easily available and financially affordable in comparison to chemical fertilizers, as well as being more of a sustainable option. So each year I sort of rotated my lands, and I did a little bit here and there, and just obviously I made the soils better. Furthermore, I practice no-till planting to a certain extent. I wouldn't say I'm no-till only, because obviously by the implementation of chicken litter, you've got to put it into the soil. So you do have to disc it in. So I practice no-till planting to a certain extent, and I try not to destroy my soil structure. It reduces soil erosion and try to keep the integrity of the soil health, which is what I've spoken about. This in turn can lead to higher crop yields and promote environmental sustainability. And over and above that, I'm also trialing cover crops at the moment, where we're using, it's a ryegrass called black oats, and in about February or so we fly that on with a drone, and obviously when the maize starts drying off, the black oats with a bit of moisture, it starts to come through. Obviously, as the sunshine can reach there, which obviously that just increases. There's more There's more grazing for my cattle, and all that all goes back into the soils like that. So that cover crop, I think, is it could be a winner in the future. I'm still trialing it, so I haven't done it in all my lands, but I have done it in certain areas, and so far so good.
Guy, you are part of a family and a team that contribute to your success. I'm sure you'd like to tell us something about them.
Obviously, farming is a team effort. You need to surround yourself with a community to celebrate with you, your triumphs and your supports through the inevitable tough times. My parents' names are Tony and Louise English, who come from generations of family farming. They imparted all this passion and wisdom into me from a young age. I wouldn't have done this without them, and all these opportunities have obviously been given to me through them. I'm married to my wife, Harriet English, who in 2008 came back from the Netherlands from studying animal husbandry, specializing in marketing. She comes from farming stock too, all the way in Zimbabwe, and her education meant she could fit into the farming enterprise seamlessly. And obviously the best part about it, I have two young children, Olive, who is 3 years old, and Casey, who is 1 year old. And they spend hours on the farm with us and are a great reminder why we keep doing what we're doing. And hopefully they one day will carry on what I've started, or what we have started as a family. And then, of course, obviously, I'm surrounded by a fantastic workforce. So I've got one manager who is a Sedara student, and he went to Western at school. So he's my main manager. And then I run the whole operation with seven guys and 3 ladies. And these guys are absolutely fantastic. They've got their certain departments where they are obviously chosen. Some are better at obviously working the livestock. And then I've got my maize team who do that part of it. And then obviously, if we need to help each other out, say there's more work on the beef side, I'll bring the other guys across, and vice versa. So I've got a fantastic team who've actually been with me for many, many years, and we complement each other well, and we work together really, really well.
Congratulations once again. That was Guy English, and he is the 2024 Kwanalu Young Farmer of the Year.